Let's have a show of hands. How many of you ever written to a company just cold, just wrote to some company? Good. How many of you gotten an answer? Yeah, it's pretty rare. Well, I wrote to a company called Littleton Market because I was curious, had a question about bicycle racks, if they're going to have them there. And I got an answer within 30 minutes. And I answered back and got another answer pretty fast. And I said, really impressed. They got a good PR person. After about the third letter, I found out it was Bob Littleton himself answering me. And I said, really impressed. So I said, who is this guy? So I looked him up on LinkedIn. He's got a PhD in physiology and systems biology. And he's starting a market. And I said, this is a really interesting guy we got to hear from. He'd probably be a good Rotarian, too, in our club. He's a graduate of University of Cincinnati, also went to Ohio State University and Upper Arlington High School. And I just saw on Facebook this weekend, he's already starting catering. The store's not open yet, but he's already doing catering and it looks really beautiful. So I bring you Bob Littleton.
Thanks a lot, everyone. Can you hear me okay? I'm usually kind of bad with microphones. I don't know. So thanks a lot for the nice introduction. Yeah, so we're starting up a market in Upper Arlington. It's called Littleton's Market. I come from academia. I was a scientist for a while. Went into data and analytics, which is kind of related, at a company called Cover My Meds, and I learned about a lot about management and how a really successful company operates and how much it's about being a great place to work, and also the business practices that go into that. One of our core values was do the right thing. I think we most of the time did that, and we're best place to work in the country a few times. So I'm trying to bring that to the market also, but really got into this because I've always been interested in health. And I see now that health is, as much as was discussed here in the opening, health is about relationships and community, and it goes further than the food we eat, even though the food's a big part. So the market was a really interesting way to see, like if we could be a positive influence on a whole community in a meaningful way. Yeah, it started as, hey, maybe we could do this, and now it's actually, we're building out a store. The store is in Tremont Center in Upper Arlington, right across from Tremont School, pretty close to Kingsdale. The cool thing about the center is there are a good number of the businesses there that have been there since the 50s. So the market space we're moving into has been a market. It started with Tarpey's, then it became Huffman's Market, then it became UA Food Market, I think for probably 70 some years. Chef Annette's still there. It's been there since the center opened in the 50s. Tremont Pharmacy's still there. The Goodie Shop's still there. So it's really maintained strong, long-time local businesses, which is really nice. So when we moved in, when we started thinking about opening the market, it had been a grocery store for a long time and it needed updated pretty heavily. So it turned out we needed to redo the whole thing. So we took everything out. We actually expanded the space. So if you had ever been into Huffman's, it was about 9,000 square feet. We've expanded it to about 14,000 square feet because the bank next door had some extra space that they weren't using. So total gut renovation, putting all new appliances, floors, ceilings, everything in there, and to make it an awesome experience. So I'll describe a little bit about what it looks like, and then that'll get in, and also what we're aiming for as far as the feel of the market and the staff and everything. So outside of the market it's a pavilion. It's a roof structure. It'll have a fireplace, it'll have heaters, so we'll get about 3 seasons worth of use out of it, seating underneath and outside, screens that come down to trap the heat, and a grill so we can do events outside, do cooking outside with events. The pavilion was inspired because we want to be very involved with the community, like I was saying, and really a catalyst for community. So give people a place where they can get together that wasn't there before. Because we noticed, I mean, in the pandemic, everyone felt it. Like, we weren't getting together, felt isolated. I was in a job where I was on the computer all day long and Zoom calls and everything. So I felt this need for people to wanting to get together in person at a cool place. That's part of the market. The pavilion really exemplifies it in that we built this structure, and it should be. The other nice thing is that you'll be able to sit out there and eat food, drink wine, and beer and coffee from the store. But it was inspired by the Huffmans were great at community involvement. Some previous owners, they were there for 30 years, and they used to do fun events in the parking lot. Like they would get the state fair winning lamb out there, and everyone would get to meet it. Do some Christmas events out in the parking lot where they had reindeer, and that actually happened this year. So we decided to build a structure so we could have events and host more events and really make that a permanent thing. And it's not just for events, it's for every day. So you can come into the store, get food, come out there. We have an in-store cafe. So the pavilion's in front of the store outside. You walk into the store, immediately as you walk in on the sort of left side of the store is a cafe. So the cafe starts out with espresso, croissants. Breakfast sandwiches are huge for us. I'm big into breakfast sandwiches. So, and other, yogurt parfaits and that sort of stuff. As the day progresses, it'll go more into a lunch service and then a wine bar. So it'll flip over into a wine bar. We'll probably always be serving coffee out of it, but with things like charcuterie, wine, other appetizers, maybe tinned fish is a big craze coming now, and those types of things. The other thing that we'll be doing is we've decided, much of the present model in supermarkets is to not, trying to think of how to say this in a way, expertise in a supermarket can be hard to find in lots of places. So we've decided to sort of flip the viewpoint on that and hire experts in each department so that they can stock the right products, but more importantly, talk to the customers about those products. Our wine department, we have a sommelier working for us, and he's our director of beer, wine, beverage, and cafe. And that's just, so the overall idea is to have knowledgeable people who love food talking with customers about the interesting stuff in the market, what it pairs with across the market. And the whole market revolves, so we've got the wine section butts up next to the cafe, and the whole market really revolves around a prepared foods island that's in the middle of the market. We also put a skylight in over the prepared food section to highlight the prepared foods and also open up the market so it's like bright and bright and nice to work in, and the idea with the prepared foods is now, I don't know about more than ever, but probably more than ever, people during the week are wanting something that they can eat quick but high quality, because people's, I think, savviness on the quality of food has increased a lot over the, past 20 years. And with more home cooks, more people taking and cooking very seriously, I feel like, at least a lot more than when I was growing up. But sometimes there isn't the time to make those quality meals at home. So we wanted to give people the ability to have really high quality meals for their families, to either take home and heat up or take home hot from our store. So we invested very heavily in prepared foods. And that's why we're catering now. We have a chef on staff who's basically doing a limited amount of catering right now. It's for testing and to get testing, start the business, and get our recipes right. So that most recent catering, we had like a caramelized pear, I think, with blue cheese, sort of spread, and then bacon on top. And actually, it went very well. I whiffed. I'm sorry. As I did. I should have brought samples of stuff though. And we're also developing right now the things that will become things like I would bring to this, like that I'd be confident in. Like that's probably one we'll have because that went well. Some things, haven't gone as well, but we haven't totally whiffed yet. So, um, so the prepared foods are a big part of our store. We'll be doing catering, prepared foods, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Um, we're also a full-on grocery store, so there are lots of sort of rumors at the beginning of the store. So people thought it would be like a wine and cheese shop or something. We've got wine, beer, produce, meat, dairy, everything you'd expect in a regular grocery store, except we're trying to focus on food and sort of be culinary first because we don't have the space of like a big warehouse. We're a smaller store, so we'll have like paper towels and toilet paper and stuff, but not like a huge aisle of that. Um, we've kind of we've the center of the store, instead of like dry goods, is this prepared foods island. Our dry goods are on the side, um, sort of over on the right side, but we'll have a great seafood case, deli, charcuterie, um, and in each area we're going with expertise. I don't know if you guys have been to Huffman's or UA Food Market, but James Williams, butcher, yeah, he's with us. He's working on sourcing right now. So that's really exciting. Another expert in his field. So when you come in, it should feel welcoming, and ideally, we want people to feel better after they leave, so that going to the store is like actually fun and enjoyable. You find interesting products, but you can also find products it's not all like specialty stuff you haven't heard of. But say like in mayonnaise next to Hellman's or Duke's, you'll have like kimchi mayo or like yuzu mayo or Kewpie. Kewpie's really good. And so that's the balance we're trying to strike. In catering, we're doing right now, we're doing two kinds of catering, and it's a small scale, but we're doing lunch catering for a business, pretty standard, and then we're doing we call it concierge catering, where we're basically, if you call us, we'll work with you on what menu you want, drop it off at the house, pair it with wines. Our sommelier come in and talk to you about the wines. We can do wine tastings. And the other thing that will be a difference, the staff should be happy to be there. If we're doing our job, which is, it's hard to get people excited to go to work, but it should be a fun place to work. We're going to do our best to make it a best place to work in Columbus, and for its size. Hopefully everyone's happy, excited, and everybody likes being in the store and having a good time. Those are the biggest things we're focused on. Besides, the quality of our product is huge, and quality means the taste. It's got to taste good, but also where it comes from is important to us too. So in produce, we're really trying to get as much local produce as we can. You can't do everything local because oranges don't grow in Ohio. You need lemons to cook, that sort of stuff. But there are so many local farms that aren't available to us except at farmers markets. We're trying to bring the farmers market into the store as much as we can. Same with meat. There are these, and the idea is, if we can support these local businesses who are making really good products, that'll help us grow, that'll help them grow, and then we can stock more and more of our shelves with the products they have. One of the best ones, the ones I like the most, is there's Fox Hollow Farms has, I think it's half Berkshire pork, half something else, mini pig, it's called they call it the pig of destiny. When you see it, it looks like a teeny pig, but it has little big fangs and like it's got long like hog hair. It looks kind of like a mini hog, but you get little bacon and little pork chops out of them. It's like cute. And I haven't tried them yet, but they're supposedly really good. So like we'll have products like that, and then I hope they want to grow. So maybe we'll have a ton of little pigs. And fun things like that. So hopefully we'll have a lot of fun little, like, things that are really good tasting too in there, along with the staples. And yeah, quality is super important. So, does anybody have questions?
You're gonna have a sushi bar?
No, I think the plan is we had tossed that back and forth to do sushi on a regular-ish basis, but not bring in the full sushi bar. The reason was space, and we just we were trading off. And we didn't think we could beat a Kaihana in sushi, Tinzuke market and everything. But we're planning, like, I haven't set this up, but collaborate with them, and they come in like once a month or once a week and have sushi, but it's not totally off the table either. We could change. Yep.
Sounds like your market niche is like Wylands, Carfagnas, Hills, whatever.
Yeah.
Those stores have private label
Yes.
items. Will you stock some of those so that your customers don't have to go to the other stores?
Yes. So some of theirs, like Carfagnas and stuff. Yes, we have Carfagna's sauce on our list, I think. But I'd love to hear any suggestions you have for other private label items we could get in our store. We're going to do private label ourselves too, because it's just a great opportunity. And we think we can do a good job at it. Our branding around at least one line of it's sort of like provisions, like we'll do maybe our own butter, our own peanut butter, pickles, like things that are provisions is kind of a older word, but it's, it gets the right idea, like the staples. We're going to try to do sort of staples, pickling soups, that sort of stuff.
2 questions. First of all, how soon is it opening? Can I stop on my way home?
Not soon enough. Midsummer is what we're shooting for.
You are referring to we. It sounds like you're doing a lot of collaboration. Who's involved in all these decisions? I mean, you've got a great plan.
Yeah,
I'm
thanks.
so excited to go.
It's been a pretty big group effort. It started with me and my father-in-law, Alan, and we quickly realized we needed architects and construction teams. So we started working with grad architecture and Access Construction on building out the overall look of it. And for a while, it was just the architecture. And also my brother-in-law Pete has helped a lot from a sort of he's in sort of advertising and large sign business. Lots of the vision aesthetically was the architects and Pete, and we're working actually at that stage also, and now creative director at Jenny's, Danielle Keska, has helped us a lot. So that's why she's made the brand look really fun and interesting. But thanks a lot. Yeah, and now we actually have a chef, Brian Wilson, who was executive chef at Ocean Club and Martini when I was open, and has recently before this been doing home catering. We have a GM now that's Seth Lassick. He was executive chef at Wolf's Ridge and Understory. He came over to work with us, which is awesome. And we have, the rest of we had Chris Dillman's our sommelier. He's setting up our wine and beverage department right now. So I always err on the side of really, really good team. So make the team as good as possible, and then we should be pretty good, hopefully.
And keep them happy.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Be an awesome place to work. Yep. Yeah.
So your background is super fun and not related to this at all, but have you been surprised where your science background has influenced you in a unique way as you've been setting this up?
Yeah, I mean, just yesterday, it happened. you know, it influenced the way I think so much that, yeah, like just yesterday I was in the kitchen helping prepare for a catering event, and I'm not very experienced in the kitchen at all, but we were making the glaze for the pear, and Chef Brian was like, the sugar kept coating the pears, like made a crystal structure, and we were trying to think of ways to fix it, and an acid made sense to me because I was thinking it would break the bonds in the sugar maybe with the hydrogen, you know, like, and it worked, so maybe it did. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of rusty, but I was like, yeah. Um, so yeah, like that. And then thinking of systems, right? So I've thought about systems a lot. So I'm thinking of the store as a system, really. It's not just the store facing itself, but all the farms and distributors and everything that input into that system. And I don't know if that's unique, but that's just how I think about it. Yeah.
Let me make sure I say this right so everybody misunderstands me. My wife is very excited that James the meat guy is coming back, as is all of Upper Arlington, I think. He was an institution there. I think it was this past weekend in the Dispatch, for those of you that still read it, it was either Business First on Friday or the Dispatch Saturday or Sunday. It was an article about chain grocery stores versus, you know, small
Yeah.
personalized markets. Did you get a chance to read it?
It's on my kitchen table for me to read. I haven't read it yet, but I heard some about it.
It's encouraging because, you know, margins, as you know, are really small in the grocery business. And when you are operating at, you know, say 1% if you're Kroger's or whatever, but you have billions, that adds up. But they talk about how, you know, something like soap going up in price can really hurt you when you're smaller. But there was a lot of other factors that were kind of on a positive trend that people want to go back. They don't like the Costco's and the big box stuff. They want to go back to service and neighborhood feel and whatever. So I thought it was really cool. I thought of you when I read it. Normally I see you today. So
Thanks a lot. Yeah, that's what we're hoping for sure. I know I feel that, like, I would like that, you know, to like going into the grocery store. Yeah.
So, yeah, I was gonna say, I just recently moved back from 20 years, and I was in Southern Oregon. There was a small chain called Market of Choice.
All right.
Which was always where I wanted to go, because first of all, I don't need 100 different cereals to choose from. I have too many choices to make in my life already.
Yep. Yeah.
But I'm really excited about this because, yes, it's neighborhood, and you're thinking beyond just, like, you know, having a truck pull up and just unload stuff. It's like, where is it coming from? I mean, that's a very Oregon thing also. Like, they will tell you the name of the pig.
That's what we're going for. Yeah, yeah. This is Bobby. He's not alive anymore.
But it's also, you know, that this animal was treated humanely, and you know that the organic foods are really organic, and it's not just we're green and that's just something to call it. So this is exciting, and I like the idea that you have all these experts. I mean, because I am constantly going to the grocery store and saying, how do we know what's the right orange? Or, like, I don't know. I run a film festival. I don't know for fruit.
Yeah. No, I'm glad that that's something you guys want to see, because yeah, we really hope that's the case. And I felt like I did a bunch of focus groups early on. I need to start them back up, and found that more than like USDA organic or GMO free and stuff, people really trust food when they know who grew it or who raised it. So once people can meet the farmer, so lots of our strategy is going to be not only saying, you know, this is from this farm, but also have that farmer in to talk to people and get to know them. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on home delivery?
Yeah. I think my thought is we have to do it. I don't know if we open. Right now, the plan is to open with carryout and figure it out there, and then just move that into delivery. I'm assessing whether we could get it done to start delivering it first. It's just operationally a little more difficult. It throws more chaos into the system early, but my thought, the thing that made me think we have to do it pretty much is there's a good amount of data. I was worried that people wouldn't go in the store if they were getting delivery, right? That's like sort of the maybe most direct, logical thing to think, like, oh, they'll just order from home and never experience a store that we, worked really hard on. But the data shows that even per person, their amount of buying goes up if they have the delivery option in store, which is odd to me. So I haven't really looked into that data, but I guess what I think is they might amplify each other. So the more you can get, say, Littleton's online, then you're thinking about us, then you're going in the store more too. Not sure, but that data kind of convinced me we kind of have to do delivery, I think. Yeah.
What are some of the things that are on your plans to make it a great place to work?
Right now, we're actually starting into this, it's I guess a framework, and there's a questionnaire called Personalis. It's one of those Myers-Briggs type work assessments. But what we did at Cover My Meds was we used that, and then you get sort of a personality profile that tells you, how you tend to behave at work. The value isn't so much telling you; it tells you things about yourself and how to manage stress when you're seeing those indicators. But seeing everybody else's lets you know how others operate. So if I say I'm an extroverted person who says hi to everybody when they walk in the room, and then so and so comes in and he's just heads down, not saying hi. It's not a diss. It's just that's their personality, and so it gives you that kind of insight. So we're starting there and sort of getting people to discuss those things and see that there are many different ways to work that work well. And then one-on-ones are huge. So, weekly meetings with managers and employees to gauge how the employee, it's not about, honestly, most of it is about how they're doing. Do they need help with obstacles at work? How, do they want to develop their career? How do we do that? And checking in on, where they feel like they need help, where they're doing great. And so I believe it's almost all communication, and creating a positive way of talking to people that doesn't blame. It's hard any group of people, when something goes wrong, it's hard not to blame, but you want to get away from that as much as possible, focus on getting results. So that's strategy pretty much now, but we'll grow more into it too. Yeah.
If everything goes perfectly for the next 5 years, where would you like to, what's the ideal future plans?
That's a great question. If it goes perfectly, it won't, but even it already isn't, trust me. Even I think another store is the obvious next step, probably, but I also think we're going to be expanding probably in catering pretty fast. The other store's a nice idea because it'll be something we can already do. And if we can find a place, and if you guys have suggestions on places where this would work, this concept, let me know. But if we can find a place that fits and likes the idea and would be successful, it seems like, since we know how to do it, a good idea. There also hopefully will be opportunities in our in-store products, like Carfagna's their pasta sauce. We make our own product. We can actually start producing it outside of Littleton's and selling it around. So that's generally what I think are the best options, although there's other options in the getting food to us side that may pop up. Like right now, it's hard to get local produce because the people are so busy farming and, basically busy farming and raising their families. They don't have time to get into distributing their goods to stores like us. So trying to figure out how to make those networks better would be great too. But there are already people who are doing a pretty good job of it and growing. So, those are where I see it.
You've been at this for a little while. 6 months, a year, how long?
A year and a half.
A year and a half?
Yeah.
So you're a year and a half in and you're 6 months away from opening.
Yeah.
Are you thinking this is really exciting and I'm really happy I did this? Or are you thinking, what the hell was I thinking?
Depends on when you talk to me.
Time of day?
Yeah, half time a day in what happened yesterday. I'm always actually, but when I put it in context, I'm like, this is the happiest I've been at work in forever. So it's great. But there are some challenges where you're like, why can't you get the equipment faster? Come on, like, figure something out. That sort of stuff. But yeah, exactly. It's that sort of like, it reminds me of like, only a more magnified my dissertation where I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And then you just keep going.
Some specialty markets are people with food allergies, for example, gluten or other things. Do you plan to address that?
Yes. Yep. Well, really, it's asking people who have those dietary restrictions what they want to see in the store. So we've got a bunch of people who know gluten-free pretty well that we talk to regularly and actually on the team. Like someone on the team now who used to work at Hills, Amanda Anderson, she is gluten-free, so she knows all the products, so we'll be good there. We also, as far as veganism goes, we've asked. I actually know somebody who's a practicing vegan, and they went into the Facebook community and started gathering vegan products that they'd like to see. So really, it's asking what the people who have that lifestyle like, and trying to get that for them. What's really cool about our online store, the way the company that we're running it through has it set up is if you're vegan, you should be able to click a button on the side, and then the only thing you'll see in the online store is vegan stuff. So you can do your shop. You can basically just, make your store vegan.
The old Huffman store had a lot of high school youngsters working. Do you plan on continuing that?
Yep. Yeah, we have a long list right now of kids who have reached out. Yep, we're definitely gonna. It's a great opportunity for us. It's super involved in the community. Kids are capable of way more than classically probably expected of them. So, yep.
Will you honor coupons?
That's a great question. I mean, can I get back? Yeah. Is that I haven't even like. Yeah, I'll put that on my list of things to think about. Yeah, I haven't even gotten there yet. We've thought about like discount programs and stuff through us, but not the coupon world, I guess.
People love them.
They do, yeah.
And you're talking about the manufacturer's coupons.
Manufacturers' coupons. Yeah, we might even. Yeah. I mean, I'll get back on exactly, but you kind of have to. I feel like, right? Yeah. Something like that.
On the coupon, that reminds me, are you going to have any frequent flyer programs, like loyalty programs?
Yes. Yeah, we're figuring out what that looks like, but it should be awesome. So I don't know exactly what it looks like, but the loyalty program would have lots of, I think, really interesting perks, like get to a certain level, and you're, the sommelier is picking out wine for you. You're going back to see this new fish and get it, like you get an invitation to watch the fish be broken down or something like that, It should be some really like unique and interesting perks to it. We're thinking about a house account concept where if you want to, you get a house account, set up like an ACH transaction with us, and then you're like, I'm number 442. Then checked out, and it just gets you get a monthly bill, and that would come with sort of other things that we have. We have a long list of perks that we could, but we're not sure exactly what's gonna make it. Well, it'll probably be an experiment too, but yeah, I'm glad you're interested. Yes, we'll definitely have something like that. All right, thanks. Yeah, thanks everybody.
And Rob, before you sit down, if you could come back up. I have a certificate for you. We would like to thank you for being here.
Oh, wow, thanks.
And
it's a coupon?
It's a coupon.
Oh, no, I can't use it.
In honor of you being here, we'll make a donation to Freedom a la carte in your name.
Oh, thanks
Thank
a lot.
You.
Awesome.
And is this yours?
Great. Yep, thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you. And hopefully, maybe you can stick around for a few minutes for anybody else who has a question, maybe after. So thank you again. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. See you next week.